Welcome to Obeka War Wagon. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. I like this. We've got a Frantic Search, some Lightning Grease, some good protection for our commander, and a good piece of universal removal in Vraska's command, so we will take that. So let's go and lead off with, I guess, Island. We'll go Mana Crypt, and then go for Lightning Greaves. I think that'll be good. Anything else past the turn? We're playing Obeka. Oh, I have my hotkey set up correctly. Magic Online, whenever they do a hard update, it strips you of all your hotkeys, and I've got them set up, and that is a wonderful... Oh, our opponent's Mana Crypt. Well, I've got my own Mana Crypt. We're playing Obeka. The player whose turn it is may end the turn. So, pretty cool, unique ability. We'll kind of jump into what we're doing with Obeka here in just a second. Playing against Niv Mizzet. Niv can't be countered flying. If you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. Painter's Servant... Sure thing. Whenever you draw a card, Niv deals 1 damage to any target. Then whenever a player casts an instant or... Alright, so we got ourselves a Grindstone. Okay. I think we can stop this. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. We lost the flip. We're 0 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers. Let's have Underground Sea come down. Let's cast that on Painter's Servant. Yeah, we don't have the black on that. So what do we do to buy some time? Because we'd have to get another black source. I think at this point, what we'll do is we're going to leave up Cyclonic Rift. And what we're going to try to do is bounce Painter's Servant in response to that Grindstone activation. Because if they don't, if you're not familiar with Painter's Servant and Grindstone, once they get the Grindstone milling going, that's really going to... not be good for us. They're going to be able to exile or mill a bunch of stuff from our library. So it's going to go Cyclonic Rift, cast that on Painter's Servant. We're going to bounce Painter's Servant back to the hand. And then, yeah, there we go. All right, so we're able to dodge that Grindstone. Now, we do need to get another black source for Vraska's Contempt very badly. Let's see if this is going to help us out. Choose Tails on this one. Won the flip. We were 1 for 2 on those. And then that is going to be Arcane Signet. So with the land drop, yes. Okay, there we go. That's exactly what we wanted to see. 1, 2. We don't necessarily need to go for... Yeah, I think we're okay. Anything else? We can go for a Frantic Search. We can do that during our opponent's turn. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you want to pretend you're riding on the war wagon with Obeka, one of the best ways is to use that link. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play the new Commander Legends online, it is in stock on Magic Online. A little availability. It's early in the set, but by the time you get stuff rolling, it should be pretty good. And that's going to be Painter's Servant, in which we're going to be able to dodge that. We'll wait to see if they go for another Grindstone activation. If not, then we'll go for that at end of turn. So with them going down on blue mana, let's go Vraska's Contempt on Painter's Servant. We like that. It's going to be black and then 1 and 2. All right, so we're going to be exile Painter's Servant. So we're going to be able to dodge the Grindstone line of play and be good to go from there. We can also end up going for Obeka and get Lightning Greaves down. We don't really have a big payoff card, but we do have Frantic Search, so that'll allow us to kind of dig a little bit deeper. Also, to give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/Jolt, that'll give you 10% off, and you'll be able to check out some of my Neon Playmat series. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. So we've got Obeka. I think at this point, we just kind of dig with Frantic Search. I think that's fine. Let's do this. So let's go Thirst for Knowledge. It's going to be 1, 2. So we're going to draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards unless we discard an artifact card. That's going to be Wasteland. Vortex, which is actually going to be a pretty good option. We do want to make the land drop that will be Misty. So I think at this point, we'll actually dump is Wasteland. Yeah, because we can try to go for Obeka next turn with Lightning Greaves. I think I kind of like doing that. So let's do this. So let's go and get rid of Frantic Search. I'd like to get that down, but we want to make the land drop. Let's go and get rid of Wasteland. Let's make the Misty land drop for the turn. Let's go and go Misty. And if we can get Psychic Vortex down, that's going to be a very, very good option for us. So let's get this popped out. Anything that we need to grab in particular, probably another black source. Let's go and grab ourselves a Watery Grave. Yeah, red's not super. We're going to pay 2 life on this. Let's go for Obeka. And it's going to be black. It's going to be, I guess technically either way, we're going to have to tap down this to lose a little bit of life. Tap down Watery Grave. Let's go for Lightning Greaves on Obeka. And then anything else, yeah, we'll just go and swing it for 3, why not? Swinging it for 3, that's going to knock him down to 27, and then anything else past the turn. So we've got, we're on board for 6 more turns of Obeka swinging in. Might be able to close it out. We'll see what can happen. But yeah, one of the cool things with Obeka is that we have Psychic Vortex. And first of all, before we jump into that, look how beautiful this card art is. I love it. Captures the old school Magic art of what is going on. It looks amazing. But one of the cool things is we get this down, and we're going to be able to skip that instep trigger of sacrificing a land and discarding your hand. So basically, we're going to be able to just keep drawing cards turn after turn. Then we should be able to figure out some sort of way to close the game out from there. So let's go get this Mana Crypt trigger going. It's going to be Tails. Lost the count on Mana Crypt triggers, but we'll make it work. And then let's go for Psychic Vortex. That's going to be blue, blue, Mana Crypt, and still leave up Neutralize. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Psychic Vortex, and what we're going to do on this is we're simply just going to go ahead and close the turn right now. That way we never get that instep trigger. So let's go ahead and end the turn, click OK. All right, and we're able to skip that instep trigger. So that's one of the cool things about Obeka is that we're going to have this upside Psychic Vortex now. We are playing against blue-red, so they have a very hard time dealing with enchantments. And so if we can get this to stick around, we're definitely going to be able to keep it with that search for Azcantha. And then we'll just kind of go from there. We do have Neutralize in the hand, which is going to be able to counter target spell. So if they do end up going for Niv Mizzet or another piece of, some sort of combo piece or something like that, at least we're going to be able to stop that. And really just let this Psychic Vortex do its work. Outside of, using stuff like Psychic Vortex, we do have Final Fortune and Last Chance. Oh, they've got Pyroblast, but let's see if they've got a counter spell. We're going to go Neutralize on this. If they've got it, they've got it. They've got to burn it onto that. We're fine with that. Now, if they do have an answer for this, then we're kind of in a tough spot. We're just in top deck mode, but hopefully we can assemble some sort of value. And that's going to be Glimmer of Genius. Okay, that's a good deal if they're just drawing cards at this point. And I've really liked Neutralize. I've been putting it in a lot of my decks. Having that cycling, it's a pretty good effect, especially in a counter, control deck where you get to late game. If you do have a lot of answers, and we get to dodge the Pyroblast. Okay, so we get to untap with Psychic Vortex. Let's see what this is going to give us. It's going to give us an extra card draw. The only downside about tapping down Obeka is we can't go for the commander damage win, but hey. Getting that card draw, that's going to be worth it. So let's get the card draw from Psychic Vortex. Yes, we will definitely do that ability. And then we run into Polluted Delta. So let's go and make the land drop for the turn. I guess at this point, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and crack Polluted Delta, grab ourselves an extra land that we'll do draw into it next turn. Let's grab ourselves Volcanic Island. Let's just go ahead and end the turn right now. So that's pretty much what you're doing. You would use Obeka for some really nice advantage like this. Having Psychic Vortex and Lightning Greaves to protect it is a wonderful feeling. It's almost kind of like the Splinter Twin combo for the deck without actually closing the game out. As long as you have that good protection for Obeka, things go good. Now, I will say this, running a ton of downside end of turn style effects, you probably want to limit your package to probably 3 to 5 cards or something like that. If you go so overboard on instep things like that you're hoping to dodge with Obeka, this is Commander. People run spot removal, they run board wipes. All right, they've got Red Elemental Blast. Okay, so we got a little bit extra value from that. We'll let that go through. But yeah, if you don't have the way to protect Obeka, if you don't have a way to tap it down, you're gonna feel bad having a lot of these spells in your hand that are counting on Obeka. So you want to run them, but you want to limit the amount that you have in there. So all right, there we go. Hit that Mana Crypt trigger, and we run into Shark Typhoon, which is yeah, I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Let's go for this. Let's go for Shark Typhoon. We're going to be able to cast this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And this is what the other part of the deck is trying to do. So let's tap this down. We might end up going for Fiery Activation, drawing a card. But once we get down Shark Typhoon, we should be in a pretty good spot. So let's get down Shark Typhoon. They've got counter magic. We'll kind of go from there. At this point, we're just still dodging that triple red from Niv Mizzet. Now, if they can get Niv Mizzet down, that's not going to be good for us because there's a lot of Mystic Confluence. So that's going to be targeting Shark Typhoon. Not going to be able to pay for Mystic, and that sends it back. So anything else? We've got the turn, the land drop for the turn with Flooded Strand. Yeah, we might as well just end up doing that. So anything else? We'll pass the turn. Now, we can leave up Obeka and close the turn. Go for an activation during their turn, but we'll just go and leave. And actually, probably should have swung in for 3. That would have made a little bit of a difference. But you know, that's the other thing with Obeka is, you know, let's say that, you know, our opponent's going for a main phase play, and we have some spot removal. You know, you can go for that spot removal in response to that spot removal, give them the option to end the turn, and kind of put them at this choke point to where, you know, maybe they had other stuff that they wanted to do for the turn. It's probably not going to come up that often, but the players who turn it in is may end the turn. So that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. Not going to be a huge thing that probably happens, but it's good to just kind of keep it in mind. All right, so we've got Niv Mizzet on the battlefield. Can't be countered. Let's go and crack Flooded Strand. Getting a little low on our life total. Hopefully these mana crypt triggers treat us well. Not going to pay 2. And then let's go ahead and crack a card draw with Fiery. There we go. Draw a card, draw into Catacombs, okay? And then let's see what else we rip into. At this point, we're looking for board wipe or just really any sort of card advantage. Just going to choose Tails on this one, treating us well, and that's going to be Fierce Guardianship. So let's make the land drop for Catacombs, and then I guess, yeah, anything else, we're simply just going to go ahead and pass the turn. So with Fierce Guardianship, this is actually a pretty good option because we have our commander on the battlefield. If they do end up going for some sort of non-creature threat or something like that, at least with Fierce Guardianship, that's going to allow us to go for a free counter spell. And with us being a top deck move, they're probably not going to be playing around that. So that's going to be 1 damage from Niv Mizzet on us. It's going to put us down to 14. Outside of what we're doing with stuff like Psychic Vortex, you saw a little bit with what we're trying to do with Shark Typhoon. This is definitely a Grixis Spell Slinger. We've got Young Pyromancer in here. We have Talrand in here. Saheeli. And let's go ahead and go for Fierce Guardianship. They're going to be able to draw a card. Now, they need to have an answer for this. I think with Curiosity, they're going to be able to combo off from there. They're going to go for Impulse, so let's see what's going to happen after this. We have nothing else that we can do. We can crack Catacombs, so we'll just go and let this trigger resolve. But yeah, we're in a pretty rough spot with Niv Mizzet out there at this point right now. And they're going to pop Lightning Greaves with a Braid. Okay, so we're going to be able to stop Curiosity, which is definitely a good thing to do, especially in a Niv Mizzet deck. And they've got 6 cards in the hand, looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. They have access to 4 total mana. As far as what we're looking to draw to get ourselves out of this, we're pretty much on damnation or bust kind of at this point right now. It's not looking the best deal. And unfortunately, we're going to go for a Beck. They're probably going to end up going for the 4 damage. Let's see if they want to end the turn. See if they want to go for it. Okay, they opted not to go for it. Okay, so they're going to go for 4 damage on Obeka. Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Let's go and grab ourselves Blood Crypt, have that come into play tapped, and then pass the turn or kick it back over there. So we'll return Obeka back to the command zone. Since we don't really have any big payoff spells, we're not really looking to jam Obeka next turn. At this point, we're just looking for some variation of value. So let's see what we draw into. That's going to be Tails on this one. Lost the flip. That's going to put us down to 2, and then we run into Faithless Looting, which is not going to help us out. So good game to our opponent on this one. We're going to go and scoop it up. They're going to be able to close it out. We were able to dodge the Painter Servant very on. That felt pretty good. We almost got the Psychic Vortex going. That would have been beautiful. We got that going, but unfortunately, we got hit with Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast on that. But you can see what we're trying to do with Obeka. You know, get this down in the turn. If we get this to pass through, you know, we draw 2 cards, then we draw 4 cards, 8 cards. I mean, it just it adds up. But anyways, good game to our opponent. In fact, if you enjoyed the game, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Obeka War Wagon. As far as opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. I keep laughing every time I say that. But we'll talk about the wagon here in just a second. Let's go and lead off with Command Tower. Actually, we'll just lead off with Water Your Grave. Have that come into play tapped, and then anything else, we will pass the turn. We are playing Obeka Brute Champ. I don't know why. I've had Obeka as a champion stuck in my head. I'm going to try to get that out of my head, but it's going to be very hard. So, all right, we got a Soul Ring with Azusa. So it is Not necessarily sound the Simic alarms, but sound something alarms. We gotta be on the lookout for some overwhelming value. Let's go and go Prismatic Vista. Let's go ahead and crack Prismatic Vista. Yeah, that's fine. That way we can just go and get that out of the way. So let's go and crack Prismatic Vista. Look how beautiful that is. Beautiful artwork. Love it. I love these frames too. They really knocked it out of the park. So we have Command Tower. Let's go and grab Mountain. I think that'll be a pretty good option for us. And then anything else past the turn. Playing gets Azusa, Lost but Seeking. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns, and then that is it. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will allow you to apply my affiliate link that'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you enjoy my content and you're not a patron, that's one of the best ways to support the channel, and it costs you nothing. All you have to do is visit that link or click on the actual deck link down in the description below. Also, to give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Magic Online during the pandemic, they've got you covered, especially with the new Commander Legends releasing. That's some good stuff for you to choose from. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, that will give you a 10% discount. And while you're there, you can check out some of my Mad Neon Playmat series. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, we need to check. It is officially for... Whoa, is this a 2-for-1? Yes. All right, so we're going to go Island. Wanted to go for Saheeli, but if we can jam a 2-for-1, I like that. So we're going to cast Kolaghan's Command. We're going to destroy Artifact, Azusa, black, red, blue. Oh yeah, we'll take this. That feels pretty good. So I'm just going to get rid of Azusa. The main thing that we're doing is we just need to slow their roll just a little bit. That's going to be very important for us. So anything else past the turn. So next turn we're going to end up, yeah, we made the land drop, pretty sure. Yeah, we did. We played Island. Okay. When I see a play that I'm really excited about, I'm like, so I almost get worried that I skipped through the turn. So that's something that, and also we get to take advantage of a Horn of Greed on our turn, which is something that we will definitely take. So, all right, it's going to be Field of the Dead. Play a land, draw a card. So let's go for Command Tower. It's going to be additional card draw with Horn of Greed. And I think at this point, since we do have Psychic Vortex, yeah, if we want to set that, I mean... Let's do this. Let's go for Saheeli. We need to get some sort of value going. That's going to be Saheeli, and then we can preordain to set us up for next turn. Yeah, I like this a lot better. We just want to start to generate some sort of board state value, and with getting some servo tokens, that sounds like a good plan. So let's go for preordain. We're going to scurry to get the fever going. That's going to be Stifle and Chromatic Lantern, which I think I kind of like both of those. Yeah, we're going to put those on top. We can definitely grab something with Stifle. Not going to shuffle that. Draw into Chromatic Lantern, then anything else. No, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. Now, what are we doing with Obeka War Wagon? We want to get a lot of tokens down, then we want to tap those tokens down to our Keldon Battle Wagon and swing in for a bunch of damage. Now, one of the downsides, it's just like the Death Star on the Battle Wagon, is that they left one major gap in there. If your creature has first strike, it's not good. But if they don't, then we're going to be able to get in a ton of damage. So basically with Keldon Battle Wagon, in fact, let me try to get this pulled up. So with Battle Wagon, yeah, so I was looking through Obeka stuff, like end of turn or sacrifice at this step and different things like that. And came across Battle Wagon, Keldon Battle Wagon. I was like, man, this is some good magic right here. All right, so Trample, can't block. Whenever it attacks, sacrifice it at the end of combat, which if you're keeping score at home, we have an activated ability from Obeka, which allows us to stop that. Pretty good deal. Tap an untapped creature you control, gets +X until end of turn, where X is the tapped creature's power. So we've got some kind of goofy stuff in here. We've got Fatal Frenzy. If we can get the wagon down, tap down a bunch of different creatures, just different things like that. And also, if you're watching and you're wondering why Primetime's big, ugly head just popped onto the battlefield, hey, I thought he was banned. He is not banned in 1v1 Commander. No clue why. If it's banned in regular Commander, you would think that Primetime in 1v1 would certainly be warrant the ban, but it's been 2 years since we had a Commander 1v1 update. So I've been tweeting at people on Magic Online to maybe get the list updated. But anyway, that's why Primetime's out there. Now we do have Toxic Deluge, which is definitely going to allow us to kind of clean the board up, which we will certainly take that. So Let's go Field of the Dead. Yes, because we want to make the land drop. And if we're going for land drop off of Horn of Greed, that's going to be Hedron Archive, which is going to cut us off top. Yeah, we just want to get rid of... Yeah, we just don't want old, ugly prime time over there. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Click OK. It's going to clear the entire board state. I guess technically we could have swung with the servo token, but that's going to clear everybody out. And then anything else will pass the turn. So we do have Stifle. If we can counter something with Stifle, that'll put us in a pretty good spot. But at this point, we're going to try to go to Hedron Archive next turn, maybe kind of play that into Chromatic Lantern, and that really opens us up on mana. One of the things about Obeka is that when you're building Obeka, if you have a ton of stuff that matters on having Obeka on the battlefield, you're going to be a target at the table with Obeka, because having the power to end the turn to stop something that would make you lose the game or lose some sort of overwhelming value, like sacrificing Battle Wagon, people, you're going to be a threat at the table. So you don't want to have so many of these cards that are contingent on Obeka being on the battlefield. You do want to run some of them in there, but you want to be able to just slow it down just a little bit, have some sort of package to where I'm late game, I have a lot of mana, I have Obeka on the battlefield, Obeka's protected, just running like Psychic Vortex, and maybe, like I'm running Psychic Vortex and the 2 red take an extra turn cards, and that's pretty much kind of it with the Obeka game plan. And so one of the main reasons for that is if you just have a, handful of stuff that matters on Obeka, it's going to feel bad when Obeka goes back to the command zone. It costs 4, it's going to be 6. I mean, there's just different things like that you really need to be careful in your deck building, because, oh man, look at that Horn of Greed and Azusa. This is getting out of hand very quickly. So we do have Stifle, and that's going to allow us to stop something. Worst case scenario, we just end up going for Psychic Vortex to draw some cards, but we need to watch out for that zombie horde that's assembling on their side of the battlefield. That's going to add up pretty quick. So we'll see if they have anything else for the turn. But yeah, outside of the War Wagon, this is just basically just Grixis Spellslinger. We've got Talrand in here, Murmuring Mystic. We've got Saheeli, Young Pyromancer. Basically, you just want to build up this board state and get to the point where, let's say we have Young Pyromancer down. We have Talrand down. We go for the Final Fortune or Last Chance. Give us an extra turn. Ugh. Okay, so let's see how they decide to go for this Ugin. Deals 3 damage to... that. Yeah, that's fine. Let's going to put it down to 2, and they can't swing in with the zombie token yet, I don't think. Yeah, they all have Summoning Sickness. So what's the ultimate? So it's going to be 10. Let's see if they want to plus up Ugin next turn, and then we can leave up Stifle. I think I kind of like that. All right, so we do have the land drop. Let's make the land drop. That's going to be an extra card draw with Horn of Greed. That's going to be Ancient Tomb. Let's go Hedron Archive. And we're very close to getting our very own Field of the Dead to kind of compete with this. It's going to be hard for us to get that same number of zombies on the battlefield. But, yeah, this is beautiful. Chromatic Lantern, and then we have just enough for Stifle coming off of Command Tower. So that's going to be good. So they can plus up on Ugin if they want to. We might end up protecting Saheeli. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. All right, so anything else? Pass the turn over there. So now with Ugin on the battlefield, that's going to be a major bummer for us, because one of the good things about playing its mono green is that we can get Obeka down and not really have to worry about, there's, looking at Beast Within or something like that to deal with Obeka. Unfortunately, with Ugin out there, they're going to be able to exile that, and that would not be very good for us. So let's go and let them kind of get these field triggers. So yeah, so we basically just need to be careful getting Obeka down and then sequencing a Psychic Vortex. But yeah, this is the exact scenario that I'm talking about, where we have Psychic Vortex in our hand. The battlefield or the board state is not safe really for Obeka at this point right now. Yeah, I think we just try to let them go for an Ugin ultimate. Yeah, I mean, because after this turn, there's no way we can protect Saheeli. So we're going to let that go on through. One of the downsides is they have a huge guy's cradle over there. So we'll see what we can assemble. But yeah, you can see where Psychic Vortex is just kind of dead in our hand right now, because we don't really want to get to the point to where we're sacrificing lands, discarding stuff. And, oh, goodness. Force of Vigor. Goodness. Oh, man. If you've ever been punched in the face, well, I've never been punched in the face, but if you want to know what it's like to get punched in the commander face, That was it right there. We just got hit by Azusa. But yeah, you know, this is Commander. You know, this is Azusa. This is one of those. This is a pretty by the book build of Azusa. And if you've never played against Azusa in 1v1 Commander, it is very rough. Return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, I think we just stifle that. Yeah, we're trying to hold it on for an Ugin, but hopefully we'll find something like that. So we'll be able to stop that prime time coming down, because then it just gets way out of hand with Horn of Greed and different things like that. So we're going to stop that. This point, we're looking at an Ugin Ultimate. I mean, the chances of us drawing out of this are very slim, but we're going to give it our best. So we'll see what we rip into. Unfortunately, with this recording with Obeka, we haven't had a good showing yet, but we're going to keep recording with this, and very excited about Obeka being able to close that down. It's just going to be one of those commanders that it might be a little bit more of a win more commander, depending on how you set it up, because you're in Grixis is a little bit hard to ramp. You've got to have a lot of artifact spells, but, you know, having a win more commander is definitely one of those options that allows you to close the game out in a timely manner. You know, being able to have these extra tokens, well, that's only going to be 2. We can survive that. But being able to have some sort of extra win condition, you know, let's say you do have that board state and you go for that final fortune, that last chance, you'd be able to get in for some extra combat steps. You know, that's stuff that really helps you just give that little bit of extra incremental value to kind of help you grind the game out. So this is going to be an open guy's cradle with a ton of mana. We'll see how they decide to swing in. It's probably going to be... We can, yeah, but say if you want to throw Azusa into the servo tokens, we'll take that. We're at that point in the game right now. I'm not above jump blocking on Azusa. See what their big payoff is on the back end. They've got a... All right, so let's see what we rip into, and that is going to be a Murmuring Mystic. So we go Ancient Tomb. That's going to be Field of the Dead. And then... So they swing in 6. I mean, well, then they've got the Ugin Ultimate. I guess we just end up going Murmuring Mystic? Yee. I feel like we should just scoop, but we're going to let this play out. So that'll be Murmuring Mystic. And then anything... Yeah, I think we just pass the turn. I'm not really feeling super hot about this, but we'll see what happens. So we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Kick it back over there. But yeah, outside of stuff like Psychic Vortex, you can also run some really good, just, if you heard that meow, that was my production assistant Dorothy saying, hey, it's not looking good. And I was telling her, she's looking at her score sheet, and she's like, hey, should I check the it's not looking good box? And I said, yes, you can definitely check that box. It is safe to check that. But yeah, stuff like Heat Shimmer, being able to make a token that's a copy of your creature, you know, just getting some nice value. You're getting like a 3-for-1. You know, Heat Shimmer on Murmuring Mystic. Then we use Obeka to end the turn without getting rid of that token. Just different value steps like that. The other thing that we do have in here is Brutaclad. We also have Togo in here. So if we can make our land drops, get those rock tokens on the battlefield. Just imagine the Grixis token board state you can assemble with some sort of variation of Togo out there. You've got Brutaclad, you've got Heat Shimmer. I mean, there's just ton of stuff that you can do and have a lot of fun with. So what I'm probably, yeah, they're going to go for the Ugin Ultimate. Let's go and let that go on through. See what is in store for us. In fact, we'll go and let them get this turn going, and then I'll jump into commentary if something goofy happens. And oh goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness, that is going to be an Avenger of Zendikar, Vorinclex. We're going to go ahead and good game to our opponent on this one, save them some triggers. I wanted to let them get that ultimate. Yeah, they're going to be able to grind it out on this one. Vorinclex, Trample. I mean, we can block on some tokens, but yeah, there's no way that we can, well, yeah, let's go and let this happen. So we'll go and always yield to all of this. Yeah, because I was thinking about scooping, but, you know, they've got Guy's Cradle, which is a ton of mana, so they're going to be able to, that's going to be 5 coming across, we block on 1. I still think either way, we're not long for this world, so let's see what else their payoff is. All right, with that Eye of Ugin, we are going to scoop it up. That is enough for us. So good game to our opponent on this one. Pretty good showing from Azusa. You know, this is what you're looking at. In fact, if you enjoy Azusa and you get into some competitive commander, this is a very good build of Azusa. But yeah, we tried to get the Obeka War Wagon going. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get it happening. But you can see where if we're able to get down Obeka, take advantage of something like Psychic Vortex, Fatal Frenzy, pump up the War Wagon, get some extra value. This is all stuff that is low investment. You know, Psychic Vortex, you do have to sequence it correctly to where you're not sacrificing a lane and discarding your hand. But being able to set some pretty good stuff up. We'll make some tweaking to the deck, but War Wagon is here to stay because I want to get a War Wagon win. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.